Now delighted to introduce a moment created by our underwriter. For that, I welcome the President and Chief Executive Officer of Siemens USA, Eric Spiegel. He's here with Jilda Garton, who's the Vice President of Research and General Manager of the Georgia Institute of Technology's Applied Research Corporation. Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret, and good morning to everyone. It's truly an honor to be here at Georgia Tech, one of the nation's and one of the world's great universities. And it's good to see so many of the students here. It's clear that we are developing the next generation of technology and innovation leaders right here, here at Georgia Tech. Just one quick comment about it. I thought the panels were really good and some really cool stuff. It just made me think for a minute about the talk of people living on other planets in the next 30 years. At Siemens, we like to talk about the fact that we are currently operating in over 200 countries, which is pretty much all of them. It seems like maybe in 30 years we're going to be talking about how many planets we're operating on, which I think is pretty cool. Given the outstanding reputation of Georgia Tech, it's really fitting that we're here today to discuss the role of software and technology, the role that plays in advanced manufacturing, and also the role it's playing in the space exploration and space sector. I come here today from one of the largest, oldest, and most pioneering companies in the world, a company that laid the first transatlantic cable, invented the first electric train, created the first traffic light, and connected the first electric lights across the cities of Europe. Pretty impressive. At Siemens, our DNA is really around innovation. That's one of the reasons I think we're around for 170 years. We keep reinventing ourselves, and we keep reinventing markets, and we continue to engineer the future, including areas like space. Today, as we take a look at the forces that are converging to shape the future of manufacturing and space, we see rapid and exciting technological progress. Some people call it a data revolution. Some people call it a digital revolution. I like to call it a software revolution. So after years of decline, manufacturing in the U.S. is beginning to grow again and become more competitive. Today's manufacturing is one of the most sophisticated, highly skilled, and innovative areas in business world today. And I believe that's because software is radically transforming the entire manufacturing process from front to back. But to continue to expand this growth in manufacturing, there are a few things that we really need to do. First, we need to have a culture of innovation. We know that you cannot separate R&D from the manufacturing process by offshoring. Where manufacturing goes, ideas, innovation, and ingenuity soon follow. We need to foster that innovation culture here in the U.S. to be more competitive in the world today. And we heard some of the panel's comments about what we need to do to make sure we have that culture of innovation. Second, we must have nurturing institutions. We need to align the priorities and the resources of businesses, high schools, community colleges, great universities like Georgia Tech, and policymakers to get the right conditions in place for that innovation. And third, we need to focus on the education and training necessary to make that happen. And that's what brings all of us here today. Today, we are very excited to announce the expansion of our long-standing partnership with Georgia Tech, building upon nearly 2 decades to advance manufacturing software, conduct cutting-edge research, and train students for success in today's technology-driven workforce. Now Georgia Tech joins a list of just 9 universities globally that become part of Siemens' Center of Knowledge Interchange. This full-spectrum research partnership will continue to push the boundaries of advanced manufacturing, design, automation, and innovation. One example of where this vision is already being realized is the Georgia Tech Aerospace Systems Design Laboratory. Students there are using Siemens PLM software to create virtual prototypes of the modern gas turbine. This virtual prototype will help to cost-effectively design the next generation of high-efficiency gas turbines while minimizing carbon emissions. This is the same type of virtual design, testing, and manufacturing that was done for the Mars rover and the ULA rockets. I think you can see the Mars rover, a mock-up of that outside in the lobby. Over the past 3 years alone, there have been more than $3 million secured for joint ventures with Georgia Tech, including government-funded projects. We're working with the university on more than 20 collaborative projects, from healthcare to energy to industrial innovation. One of the first projects in this expanded partnership will address the gaps in existing manufacturing design-to-print workflow. This project is part of the America Makes 3D Printing Initiative, a federally funded program for the National Additive Manufacturing Institute. The $1 million government grant for this program is bolstered by an additional $400,000 in-kind grant of Siemens Product Lifecycle Management software. A second banner project Georgia Tech and Siemens will embark upon revolves around enhancing Siemens PLM software toolkit for human simulation. The software, named Jack, utilizes human avatars to provide realistic digital models to simulate workplace processes and evaluate the ergonomics and safety of manual operations. These two projects are the latest in nearly 2 decades of our academic partnership. Since 1996, through our Go PLM program, Siemens has provided the university access to PLM software for its engineering curriculum, and the in-kind commercial present-day value of that is over $200 million. These types of joint programs will help educate the next generation of innovators and benefit students, employers, and manufacturers in this region, throughout Georgia, the U.S., and as we hope, the world. Through collaborative partnerships like this, we can build a talent pipeline equipped for the skills needed for the STEM education of the future. Today, we have more than 200 Georgia Tech alumni working at Siemens, and with this expanded partnership, we hope to have many more going forward. Our academic partnership with Georgia Tech is emblematic of an exciting academic business partnerships that are contributing to the manufacturing resurgence in the United States. The type of manufacturing that we at Siemens want to do here is advanced manufacturing, and we think that plays to the unique strengths of the U.S. The U.S. is the world leader in software development, with 79% of global software revenue coming from companies headquartered in the U.S., 79%. We also have the world's best research labs and universities. We have the most productive workers in the world. But we need the energy and intellect of students like those at Georgia Tech if we're going to continue to compete and lead in this arena. If we get this right, the benefits to America are limitless. We can manufacture new products, new ideas, new innovations, and also create a new middle class. It's imperative that we meet this moment, and it's essential that we all do it together. I'd like now to introduce Jilda Garton, Vice President for Research and General Manager of the Georgia Tech Research Corporation.
Thank you, Eric. It's my privilege to welcome you and Siemens and the Atlantic and all of our panelists to Midtown Atlanta and to Georgia Tech, and to introduce our campus to you. I hope you have a chance to visit around the area and take a look at Georgia Tech. We're really excited about the work that's going on here and about the students that we have getting their educations here at Georgia Tech. I think, Eric, you've given us a wonderful description of the long history of collaboration that we have behind us between Georgia Tech, our faculty, our students, and Siemens Corporation. And you've really well described the kinds of things that we want to undertake under the partnership that we're sort of celebrating today. Georgia Tech is really honored to be a member of the Center of the Knowledge Interchange. And that's the master agreement that we've negotiated that will facilitate working together both on faculty-led projects as well as student engagement. And Center for Knowledge Interchange, I mean, I really have to commend Siemens for capturing the essence of the university-industry relationships that are emerging across the United States in the last 10 years or so. And you have really led the way in working with universities, and it is a knowledge interchange. It's a relationship that's described by collaborations. And it's those collaborations that help educate our students in the kinds of skills and technologies that they need to go on and be successful when they graduate. Time and time again, we hear from industry that when they work with Georgia Tech students, that it is their skills that they're bringing to the companies that they're going to work for, that where they're going to be the next generation of innovators and leaders in the company. And if you've got 200 graduates from Georgia Tech, we're really proud of each and every one of them. It's also about faculty collaborations, because our faculty and Siemens scientists and engineers work together to develop technologies that answer some really pretty important questions. If you look at the number and the range of projects we've undertaken since the 1990s, power generation, cardiac therapies, materials, new materials development, manufacturing, 3D printing, new manufacturing techniques and technologies, wireless technology, software development. I'm struck once again by the interplay between research and education across the engineering and science spectrum. These disciplines are going to be critical. These projects are going to be critical to solving the challenges that we're all facing, whether it's curing disease, it's developing sustainable energy systems, whether it's creating jobs here on Earth, or for all you millennials out there, in the next generation, in outer space, or on Mars, as we look forward to developing technologies that will enable our expansion, both in our own economy, locally, but also globally, and I guess in the solar system. So, collaboration and student engagement are key. These are the things that we really want our students to take away from your time here at Georgia Tech. And Siemens, we want to really congratulate you on your participation so far and welcome this expanding collaboration, because I think together we can do some really interesting things. We're delighted and honored to be part of the Center for Knowledge Interchange, and we look forward to the research we're going to be undertaking together. And so to our students and our researchers, I'm going to borrow from the Atlantic's theme of bold bets and say to think about some pretty bold projects, because I think the bet's going to pay off.